each year. That's about 1 South Africa or 200 Star Destroyers. And good news, it's your turn next, because you've just become a competitor in the Suicide Olympics. Bet you didn't even know that was a thing. The rules of the Suicide Olympics are as follows. First place goes to whoever gets themselves killed in the most unlikely or unusual fashion. The winner gets $1 billion. Now, this isn't like Zimbabwe dollars or something, this is hard American moolah. Obviously, if you win, you're dead, so you don't get the money personally, your family does, so let's just pretend you give a shit about your family for a minute, yeah? The twist is that it has to be an accident. You can't set it up in advance, so no flying a kite in a lightning storm or playing whose gun is it anyway with a policeman or something. It has to be an accident out of your control. Now, if like me, you're balls to the wall scared of flying, you might think, hey, that's easy. I'll just fly crappy airlines and wait for something to go wrong, right? No. The odds of being in a fatal plane crash are about 1 in 11 million, meaning if you flew every single day, you'd need to live about 30,000 years to actually get into an accident. So that's not going to butter any parsnips, is it? Well, next best thing then, you could become an astronaut. It's about a 1 in 100 chance of dying on launch. I mean, that sounds a lot better, but considering you'll need at least a master's degree, practically perfect health, and testicles made entirely of steel, that does sound like a bit too much work. Alright then, bungee jumping maybe? About 1 in 100,000 chance of dying. Mountain climbing? About 1 in 1,700. Yeah, but in Nepal? Well, how about 1 in 160? Actually, if you get above 6,000 meters, it's more like 1 in 10. Or holla, now we're talking. But maybe you think that's cheating. Most people don't climb mountains. Well, how about travel instead? About 1,000 people are killed each year in Mexico by scorpions, 15,000 are killed in India every year by snakes, or move to Africa. That's a hippo. Intimidating, isn't it? Well, yes it is. Hippos belong to the pachyderm family, which is in fact Latin for murder cow, and during a particularly bad year, they can kill upwards of 3,000 people. But still, your best chance of dying is probably just to live, because we suck at it. Last century, around 100 million people were killed by tobacco. Likewise, if you're fat, a person of weight, well, obesity killed around 300,000 people in the US last year alone. 88,000 died by booze-related stuff, several hundred thousand to drug abuse, and on top of that, cancer kills about 1 in 7 of us. Heart disease kills about half of that, a stroke gets 1 in 23, all of this proving that probably everything you're scared of is very unlikely to actually kill you. Chances are your death is going to be incredibly boring, so chin up, eh? Actually, while we're at it, what about the odds of just being born to begin with? Well, according to Dr. Ali Benazir, who did the math on this one, pretty, low. Assuming your parents socialised like normal humans, the probability of them meeting was about 1 in 20,000. The odds that they even had a kid, given global trends, about 1 in 2,000. Now, assuming they did meet, and your mum thought your dad wasn't a jerk, and he managed to ignore the fact that she considered the Star Wars prequels better than the originals, and they actually did the sexy times, the odds that you would be born of that sperm hooking up with that egg, in particular, are about 1 in 400. Quadrillion. And that's not even the half of it, because before the egg, before your mum and dad met, there is of course all of your ancestors who all had to get laid. And just talking about 100,000 generations back, that's about 10 to the power of 45,000 chance they would all meet, but now we have to calculate the odds of every single one of those 100,000 meetings between your ancestors, and the likelihood that the sperm and eggs would match up, well that comes out at about 1 in 10 to the power of 2,640,000, which is a number so big you can't even, what? You know, like a bag of M&Ms? Well, it's a few trillion of those. Times by all the particles in the universe. Multiplied by Jabba the Hutt's waist measurement. With a cherry on top. It's pretty big, alright? All in all, flying is pretty safe, your death is going to be boring, and your birth was rarer than a fucking Mewtwo. Au revoir.